I feel really good. I think the clean sheet and the win the other night against France, the top 5 nation, has been a big confidence booster for us, and we can take away a lot of learnings from that experience. And I think we're feeling good and moving towards our game on Thursday against Ireland.
Obviously, a key position in defence. How do you feel that's shaping up at the moment?
Yeah, I think our defensive line has probably grown in depth and quality over the last 2 years, and I think working with Alana, Polks, Ivy in that central defence position, and our depth with the wing backs as well, I think we're looking fairly strong coming into our game on Thursday night.
Claire, how has Tony managed, or the leaders of this team? You know, you're one of the relatively newer capped players in the team. Managed to help manage the expectations, being the Matildas in the host nation position, with the weight of the country on their shoulders, essentially heading into this week. Now that you are, getting into the matter of hours, days, heading out from the opening game on Thursday.
Yeah, I think Tony, Sam, and the leaders within the team, as well as obviously all the squad players, we collectively come together and recognise that, yes, there is that intensity, there is that pressure, but it's also focusing on what we can control. And the squad of 23 with the coaching staff, we're focusing on what we can do as a collective, and just trying to take away all the uncontrollables and all the pressure and all that unnecessary noise from the outside. So I think once we're focusing on what our job is and that 90 minutes of football every time we step out onto the park, I think the results will speak for themselves, and that's all we're really focused on at this point in time.
Next question.
Claire, you've come from country New South Wales. The journey you've been on, all the injuries you've had to get to where you are now on the verge of playing in a World Cup. Have you taken time to reflect on that? And as you sit here in front of the Matildas backdrop about to represent your country, has it kind of resonated with you a bit?
I think I have little moments where I kind of recognise the position I'm in. I think I'm processing it on the go and just enjoying the opportunity that I have right now. To think 6 months ago that I'd be sitting here preparing for a World Cup at home didn't really cross my mind. But now that I'm here, I'm just taking on the experience and enjoying what it brings. So I think I'm just going in with an open mind and feeling the support of obviously the staff members, the squad members. So I'm just, moving forward. And I know that my inexperience is one thing, but I feel like I can bring a lot to the table despite that.
Over here.
Hi, Claire. Could you assess for me the Ireland strengths you've seen? And also, sorry, I'm operating 2 different implements here. And also, does the defeat in Dublin 2 years ago have any relevance on this fixture?
I can vouch for the fact that Ireland have world-class players. I think obviously in the likes of Denise O'Sullivan, Katie McCabe, and we've recognised their strengths in terms of their defensive block, and we've also found ways that we can obviously capitalise on their weaknesses. And I think what we are focusing on is the squad that we have now and the capacity that we have against the Ireland squad that is their current squad. So obviously the results from 2 years ago, we're not heavily focused on that. We're just focused on the game on Thursday night and how we can best prepare for that.
Next question. Oh, yep, down the back. Emma.
Hey there.
Hi.
Speaking of Denise O'Sullivan, she's potentially in doubt for that first match against you guys. There was a friendly on Friday night, if you want to call it a friendly. It was pretty physical. What did you make of that match? And we know Ireland can be a physical team, so what are you expecting in that sense as well?
Yeah, in terms of what happened the other night, obviously that impacts the Irish team, and for us that obviously doesn't necessarily impact our preparation. We're still preparing to play Ireland on Thursday night, and I think it's terrible that a game has to be abandoned for those reasons. But in terms of the Irish physicality, they've always had it and they always will, and I think that we are preparing in that same way, and we know that that is a strength of theirs, and we're just working to nullify that in any way that we can. We're obviously also a very transitional and physical team, so I think it will be a good battle against the girls.
How did you find that playing in front of 50,000? Did that give you an insight as to what to expect and what it might add, especially if it's tight late in the game on Thursday?
Yeah, I think it was a good taster at Marvel to have 50,000 and to know that we're probably building another 30,000 on that in Sydney on Thursday night is going to be immense. I'm extremely excited to play in front of a crowd that big, particularly at home. And I think to see the buzz around women's football here in Australia and also knowing that we're hosting this World Cup, it's an amazing opportunity. And I think all the girls within the squad are just excited to be out there and use that to our advantage.
How loud does it get? Is it tough to organise yourselves defensively, set pieces when the crowd is so vocal?
I think there is an element of difficulty there. We all work quite together non-verbally. I think we know where we're meant to be and we're just obviously shifting into shape as we can, obviously on set pieces and stuff like that. But it was a good taster, and I can only imagine the intensity that will be Thursday night. So we found ways, I suppose, on the training park to work through that, and we'll just continue to work towards the game plan that we have for Thursday. Hi.
Legacy has been the buzzword of the day.
It has.
I'm wondering what you hope, in real terms, the impact of the World Cup will be.
Yeah, I think the Legacy video that got released was more of a push, and we know what a wonderful position that we're in currently, and we want to use this to our advantage and show, I suppose, what Australian women all over the world who are playing football are capable of in this sport. And I think we want to be able to pave the way for our players, both in Australia and from other nations, to have the support, have the resources to be world-class athletes.
So, of course, on this world stage, you've got a lot of eyes on you, a lot of young eyes. So what do you want youth footballers to take away from watching this and watching you?
I think it's an amazing opportunity for them, and I think if I was a child or a kid watching a home World Cup, that would be the coolest thing on the planet. So I think they have an amazing opportunity to look at some amazing athletes and see women in sport and powerful women in sport and be motivated and inspired by that, and obviously lead their lives and their sporting lives in a way that is, I suppose, conducive of that competitiveness, that eagerness to win. And I think for them it would be a wonderful opportunity to just see women in sport.
Claire, obviously in 2015 when the Socceroos hosted, or Australia hosted the Asian Cup,
Yeah.
there was that expectation that sort of buzz around the whole country. It's the same for this tournament now with the Matildas going in as one of the favourites. Is it something that you as a group and Tony in particular talk about and really embrace, or do you kind of just have to block that out and just deal with these games one at a time?
I think it's a mix of both. I think there's only so much that you can hold on to the buzz and the intensity, and I think we can use the intensity as a motivator. But if we're using it too much, it can become overbearing and overwhelming. And I think we've recognised that we do have the support of the nation. That's how we're seeing it. We do have their support. But we don't necessarily need to feel that as pressure. We feel that as support, and we feel that as our country coming together to get behind us. So I think when we have that perspective, it becomes a lot easier because we feel like we can do it. And I think that we have that belief now, and having that external source of motivation and support will only drive us to, I suppose, reach the latter stages of the competition.
Time for 2 more questions. Isabel over here, if we can get a mic. And Anna over there, if we can also get a mic.
Hello, this is a bit of a cheeky one. What have you guys even had time to play the Xboxes that Ellie Cup has given you? And if so, are we FIFAing? What are we doing?
Well, as soon as I got mine, I set it up. I've got FIFA and Call of Duty set up, so doing that in my spare time. But yeah, it's very good that Ellie has her connection with Xbox and sorted us all out.
And finally, Anna Harrington.
Sorry, Claire, my question's not as fun as
No, that's okay.
stitched up. You sort of alluded to it the other day. You got to play with Alana Kennedy for the first time.
Yeah.
Can you just talk us through what you noticed from her as a centre-back partner, what you liked playing about her, maybe what was different to playing with Colts?
Yeah, so I've had an opportunity to work with Alana for the last 4 to 5 weeks in our pre-camp, and I think for us that was instrumental in our performance the other night. We work quite well together. We understand each other. We're both aggressive centre-backs, so it's taken a bit of pulling back from both of us to know that if one of us is being aggressive, the other one's got to cover. So spending time with her and playing with her composure on the ball, her ability to read the game is wonderful. And obviously working with Polks as well. She's extremely composed, very good in terms of her defensive attributes. So I think each of the centre-backs brings, I suppose, their own capacities and their own abilities. And I think whoever takes those two central positions will do their job mighty fine.